Thank you for coming to my page. So, first and foremost, this page is nothing but positivity, real rebuilding, and growth. That's what this page is all about. So, if this is not the page you want to be on, go ahead and exit now. Please don't leave any negative comments because you already know ahead of time what this page is about. So, let's get straight into it. A few words have come to me lately, the last few weeks, I want to say. And I've just been writing them down. I have 3x5 cards, and I've just been writing down everything that comes to me and the questions that come right behind it. Something that always sticks out to me is the first word that came to me was heal. So basically, healing. And the first question behind that was, how are you healing? And I asked that question because we all heal differently. We heal positively and we heal negatively. And then sometimes we have that healing part where we just kind of get stuck and we don't know which way we're going. And so we're in limbo and we're frozen basically. We are surely frozen trying to figure out what we want to do, but our emotions, our body language, everything about it lets us know and lets other people know that we're hurting and we're basically broken. So I ask, how are you healing for a reason? Because a lot of us don't understand how we're healing. Some of us, we just pick up and go. I'm going to share something with you. And this is how I knew that it was time to heal and the healing process needed to take place. So, 2005. 2005. I had to terminate my pregnancies, my first pregnancy. I was 24. I just turned 25 actually in December. So for my first child, I'm so excited, very, anxious to know what it was he was a boy, so what my son was going to look like and just his personality and everything like that. Especially when you're having your first one, you're always excited. You cannot wait to figure out what your child's going to be like. So the very first ultrasound that we have at the time, it was, they did VHS videotapes. For those that are, not knowing what those are, you put them in a VCR. And from there, the first one, for some odd reason, it didn't work. There was nothing on that video. And at that point, the very first time when I got home, I was very excited. I couldn't wait to show the video for my aunt to see and my cousin to see. It was all fuzz. On the inside, I was already broken. Because on the inside, I was already preparing and I already knew what was about to happen. I think it was time. It was just getting myself prepared for what was coming next. So for the next ultrasound, we went in. And that one, before we did the ultrasound, we had to do an amniocentesis because we had to see if there was any birth defects or anything like that, because they seen something in the ultrasound, the first one, so they wanted to make sure. So I'm a wreck. So I had to pull it together to get ready for this ultrasound. I got ready for the ultrasound and I'm laying there and I'm watching the video as they're doing the ultrasound, and the tape is in and I'm looking at the screen and my son waves. And I look back. For some odd reason, I was the only one who seen it. So at that moment again, I knew something was not good. So we go in for the third and the last ultrasound. Because at that point, we had to go back because there was something that was going on and they knew it, but in my heart, I had already knew. So for the last one, they seen on the left side of his lungs, it was a mass of cysts, non-cancerous, but it was a mass of cysts that was pushing his heart to the middle of his chest, which was causing fluid to go under his skin, through his, in his skin. So they gave me options. We had to make the appointment to go to a hospital in San Francisco to go over our options, which when we got there, the options were: one, we wait out the pregnancy, but if we ended up waiting out the pregnancy, he was going to end up dying, and I probably would have died with him because of the toxics that were coming, the toxic fluids that were flowing through his body were going to eventually get into my system also. So we were like, okay. The second one was going to be, we go through with the fetal surgery, which they would do a fetal surgery to get all the, excuse me, to get all the cysts out. And then from there, I would be on bed rest. So this is going to be from December until April. I was going to be on bed rest because he was doing in April of 2005. And I was like, okay, so what's the third option? The third option was to go ahead and end the pregnancy because technically there was no way to continue with the pregnancy because one way or another, even if we did the fetal surgery, there was not a high success rate that everything would be okay because something could happen. He could die. I could die with him. And I was like, okay. So we were given 30 minutes to make our decision on what we wanted to do. And at this point, I was a complete, total mess. And I could not pull it together to do what I had to do, which I knew what was best. But I did. I pulled it together. We went back in there, and he asked. And I remember giving my answer. And it seems like everything after that was just a blur. So we had to go ahead and proceed to get everything ready for the, I don't want to say departure of my son, but to go ahead and end the pregnancy for my son. We couldn't go to a regular hospital because it was an emergency type situation and all those were full. So we had to do a Planned Parenthood, which I have never stepped in until that day and have never I've just never been in one. And to sit there, like I remember the ride from Richmond, California, all the way to San Francisco. I remember getting in the car. That was about it. I remember getting there. It was all a blur in between there. I remember the night before I remember him stopping because they said, your fluids are going to stop. You're almost like your body's about to go into labor. You're going to lose, your water's going to break. So you're going to lose all of that. And within minutes to an hour, your baby probably won't be alive. And I said, okay, because they have to prepare you for everything. So you're not shocked. So from the placement that they did the day before, I was cramping really bad. And then I remember I had to go to the bathroom and I was like, okay. And my water ended up breaking. So I had to go through the motions and I was literally stuck on the toilet because I did not know at that point in time what I was going to do next. Because I was just like, here we go. And I remember sitting there watching TV, just so numb after that, watching TV and feeling him move for the last time. Very distinctly. Like I felt him move for the last time. Like he was letting me know he was going. And I just sat there and I remember tears just falling down my eyes. And at the time, he was my fiance. So my ex-fiance and he was like, are you okay? I was like, nope. I just felt to move for the last time. So at that moment, I held my belly and I told him, I was like, Jaden, mommy loves you. I appreciate the 6.5 months that you gave me. I will see you soon. It's okay. So the next day we had to go back out that's when we did the ride to San Francisco. And we walked in there and I'm just looking at all these women, not judging anybody, but I'm looking at all these women and they were some of them were like excited about this experience that they're about to do. I meant this, not experience, but this procedure that they were about to do. I remember hearing a girl say, girl, this is my second one. And I'm like, what? And people were protesting outside and I felt so bad because I'm like, I'm not here for that. I'm just here. But, it's very emotional when you're going through this and you have to cross a picket line of people protesting because they don't believe in abortion and, and then they hear, girls in there just giggling about what they're about to do or whatever the case may be. Like, I'm over here broken because I'm trying to hold my child in, But what happened after that procedure is, and I'm going to get very detailed because you have to be very detailed because you have to understand what the healing of this. I prayed for my son not to be sucked out of me, basically. And once they gave me the shot, I was numb from the waist down. But I knew that I had to go to the bathroom. So I was like, I have to go to the bathroom, let the nurse know I have to go to the bathroom. So she was like, don't lock the door. And I said, okay. But what I always do is I lock the door and I go to the bathroom. So I forgot about that. That went out the window. And I felt my baby come out. And at that moment, I had to figure out what now, I didn't want to look. So I closed my eyes. I tapped on the door, tapped on the wall of the bathroom to the lady that was next to me. And I said, can you please get a nurse? I think my son just came out. And she was like, oh my gosh, okay, let me just finish. And then she did. And she went and got a nurse. And I was, of course, my umbilical cord. So I'm trying to reach to the door to unlock it. And the lady was like, I told you not to lock the door. I was like, please don't talk to me like that. Now is not the time to, tell me what you told me. I got it. I understand. But just, this is an emergency right now. And so, they're getting him, and she was like, did you want to see him? Nope, not like this. I'll wait, And I was actually next. So when I went in, I remember her saying, okay, we're going to give you some medicine. We'll just make sure everything's out. You're going to be fine. Count to one, but starting backwards. So I was like 10, 9, I was done. So I remember I was barely from the anesthesia, and I was like, I want to see my son. And the lady was like, the nurse was like, well, just give it a second to make sure that there's no fevers. I was like, I'm fine. There's no fevers. I want to see my son. And so I go into another room, and she brings him into me, and she asked if I wanted to hold him. So she's, showing me what he looked like. And he was so handsome. He's so handsome. And she's like, do you want to hold him? I was like, I'm not able to. Because as a mother, the first thing you want to do is take your child with you. So I was like, I'm not able to, because I'm not able to connect with him like I want to. I was like, but I just wanted to see him so he knew that I didn't just leave him. And I did. I got to see him. She sat with me. I don't even know how long. It seemed like it was an hour, but I think it was literally maybe 30 minutes as she sat with me. She said, however much time you need, I'm right here with you. But as she's saying this, she's crying. I meant, she is deep tears. And I looked at her, I said, well, why are you crying? And she was like, because all the years I've been doing this one right here affects me the most, because I can see your pain. I can feel your sorrow. I can feel she's like, I've never connected with anybody like this, doing anything like this. And I said, well, it's one of those things, I have to accept it, because it just wasn't meant right now. But I always talked to my son, so he always knew how much I loved him and love him still to this day. But he just wasn't going to be able to go home with me. And I was like, if you ever get a chance to be a mom, if you're not, always be there for your children and protect them. Guide them, love them, and remember this moment for the happy time, not the sad moment. And after she went ahead and took Jaden back, she came back out and she gave me like the longest hug. And she was like, to be so positive through something that you're going through, she said, I'll never understand how you're doing it. But I want to thank you for what you just did for me here today. I said, you're welcome, and thank you. The healing part of that came so rough because I didn't care for anything or anybody. I lost a piece of me that day. And I was by myself, going through the process, after the process, and I felt alone every day until I finally was able to heal correctly. And it wasn't until recently when someone close to me told me, you're going to have to allow the things that hurt you to go. Write them down, go to the beach, go wherever, burn them, and let them go. And I was thinking to myself, well, how do I let my son go? How do I let him go? That he's a piece of me. It's hurt for me, but how do I let him go? And I was like, okay, I got to figure out how to do this. But in the middle of all this, before it got to now, my healing was alcohol. And I don't mean like a little bit. I mean morning, noon, and night. I don't think there was ever a day that I was sober, and I had a full-time job after that. So I was a functioning alcoholic at 25. And truth be told, I was a functioning alcoholic at about 14 and a half, maybe 15. And nobody knew. Because I was dealing with a lot of hurt then too. That's for another day. But writing was something that helped me heal. My writing for the first, I want to say 3 to 5 years were very sad, very depressing, very just from a deep place. And slowly but surely, I had to teach myself how to write from a happy place, how to write from a positive place, how to switch my energy to be positive energy. I had no idea how to do this, but I was going to learn how to do this. So, I lose my son, the relationship ended, and I had to find myself again. I was at ground zero, finding myself again, going through so much hurt, going through so much sorrow, going through so much pain, but I was trying to find myself. I, met some amazing people, which still to this day I'm friends with. And that's when my healing started. It was just with the laughter, with the love, with the loyalty, with the caring, and just being a part of their family made it so much better. You know, that's what helped me. But healing every day for me is writing. Healing every day is allowing those emotions to come, allowing those tears to fall, allowing myself to just yell and scream if I need to, or just sit silent so I can figure out what my next move is going to be, because it does hurt sometimes still. Because that's a tragic loss. That was a tragic loss for me. So I still to this day, even after having my 2 children, I still have to learn how to still continue to heal through that. My next question was, how do you allow yourself to heal? Which we kind of just pick up and continue with our day like nothing ever happened. And that's what I did. I went back to work and everything. They told me to heal. I had 6 weeks to heal, but I could go back to work and to just take it light. And I did just that. I went back to work. I ended up losing my job at that place, but I ended up getting a job, you know, doing the same thing. But, I basically achieved after that, and continued just moving up and doing the things I did, which back then I was more hospitality. I was front desk, then I was a reservation agent, then I was front desk still, but then I became a supervisor, then I became a hotel manager. So all of this, I continued to just grow and find myself, which for the longest time I was so lost. I don't think I really truly found myself until I'm 39 now, so I don't think I truly found myself until I was about 35. I moved a few times. People kept saying, oh, you're just running, you're just running, you're just running. No, I'm just trying to find myself. I'm trying to find myself. And if that meant picking up and moving to another state again, then that's what I did. I'd have a job, I'd have a place. And in that year, something just said, it's time to go. And I'd pick up and go. Like it was nothing. But how do you allow yourself to heal? I allow myself to heal now by writing, by listening to other people when they speak and hearing them when they're talking, and asking. Sometimes I ask. I haven't done it lately, but sometimes I ask, do you want to have a conversation where you just talk and I listen, or do you want to have a conversation where you talk and I wait till you're done and then I have my my add-ons or my reply back or my, response. How do you want to do this before we even start? And they'll answer, and I say, okay, that's what I'm here for, because I know we're quick to have a response before we really hear the end of the story. So I listen. I listen. And then it says, my next question was, do you allow others to help you while you're in your healing process? Do you allow others to help you while in your healing process? If not, why? For me at that time, I would love to have had others with me during that healing process. But the main thing that people kept telling me was, you're so strong, continue to be strong, it's going to be okay. You're so strong, continue to be strong, it's going to be okay. You are so strong, continue to be strong, it's going to be okay. No, at that time it wasn't going to be okay. I needed to mourn, and I didn't even know how to mourn because I only knew how to be strong. So I didn't know how to mourn. But every year in November and December, when that first process started, I was very sad. I was very just hurt. I was very emotional. And April comes, here I'm supposed to have my child. I am very sad. I am very hurt. I am very almost depressed. I would have a teenager right now. I would have a teenager. And I always think about that. How would he be today? What would his personality be like? What would his attitude be like? What would he be into? Will we be traveling the world together to see different things? Because that's what I love to do. I love to travel. Would he speak? How many languages would he speak? Would he be defiant? Would he be respectful? All those things, I think about. And I just smile. But the next one was after that, do you allow others to help you while in your healing process? And then it was, if not, why not? And then, if so, how have they impacted your healing process? If so, if you allowed others to be a part of your healing process, how have they impacted your healing process? How were they there for you? Were they there for you to listen to you, to hear you, to be that shoulder, to be that rock they needed, to be that anchor to hold them down when they needed to be held down, to be that wing when you need to fly? How were they there for you? In the middle of all of this, as you're watching this video and as you're probably writing stuff down, which I hope you are, I want you to understand, listen, and hear yourself. And speak from a very positive place, not from a very hurt place or emotional place. I want you to be able to speak from a very positive place. And if you do these questions and you get through them, whether you are sad, very emotional after, whether you're happy, you may not even care. But I guarantee you're going to come back to this, because somewhere in here, you're going to have to learn how to heal from whatever you've been through, whatever downfall, whatever hurt, whatever family frustrations, whatever that you've been through, because I don't know anybody's story. You are going to have to learn how to heal, and you're going to need this healing. You are. If someone or there are others by your side truly there for you, allow them to be there for you. It's important. It's needed. It's a must. Yes, I get it. Everybody's not there for you like they should be. Some people are just there to take, emotionally and mentally. Great. That's what I say. Great. Because you're still going to heal through it. That's when you're going to know when to let go and when to walk away. But again, thank you for coming and watching. Be serious when you take these notes. If you did, if you write down your responses, read them, digest them, understand them, and then start the healing process to continue to grow. Because I guarantee you right now, you are holding yourself back from so many things that can be happening for you right now. And I mean that from my heart when I say that, because I was holding myself back from so many things. So many doors have opened. So many people I had to let go, and then more doors open. Healing. You heal and you grow. You heal and you grow. Respect yourself. Respect yourself. Respect yourself. But allow yourself to heal. Thank you and have a great one. Talk soon.